I karaoke, and the funny part about karaoke is that it kind of works into my learning disability of perceptual impairment if you think about it. Because when you sing a song, you got to hear the music. And when you hear the music and hear the lyrics, everything encompasses itself and works itself together. And the fact of the matter is, besides having great friends that came out of karaoke, right now, I gotta say, life is pretty sweet. Learning disability and all. Could I have done things different about the learning disability? Yeah. Could I have tried a little bit more harder to learn the subjects? Yeah, but you know what? Learning disability or not, I've achieved a lot of great things in my life. I always like to say I am a work in progress, and I have so much ahead of me. Believe me, life does not stop once you leave college. There is so much of a learning and a growth department. And I've said this to my friends, just because I have a learning disability, does that make you want to stop being my friends? No, it's just something new and exciting, creative, that they're learning about me.
My learning disability has taught me self-advocacy, how to stand up for myself, and to get to know myself a lot better than I would if I didn't have this disability. I had to work harder than a lot of people that did not have learning disabilities, and I always put a lot of effort into my work.
So yeah, that's the problems I would see is that there'd be a lot of, I think, anger and frustration in the families toward their kids who have learning disabilities, as if, you know, it's something that makes them like any less of a person. Because I guess maybe they would feel angry that, or they would probably think maybe that it's their fault. Like their parents would feel, you know, oh, if I only could have, you know, could have raised him differently, or maybe he wouldn't have turned out this way. So there was, you know, a lot of anger, I think, and frustration probably in families of these kids. But I think what a big concern I have is that, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, if you don't do well, let's say, on tests in school or in a certain subject and you have a learning disability, that means that you're stupid or that you're not smart, when, you know, that's only one way of measuring intelligence. There's a lot of different ways of measuring intelligence. Kids are very creative in their own way. Kids are very original and unique in their own way, and that needs to be, I think, made important to them. And if they don't understand that, then they're going to lose a lot of their self-esteem, which happens to a lot of kids, I think.
So children with ADD or any other kind of difference need a great deal of validation. We spend more time as parents criticizing our children for the behavior that they exhibited that was negative than we do reinforcing the behavior that is positive. How many of us have sat at the dinner table and our nervous, fidgety child spills over milk and drops a spoon, and we get angry and we yell and we become horrible looking creatures. In fact, I will show you. This is what we look like to our children when we start to scream. We have sharp things, fire coming out of our mouths. We have spikes on our hands and feet. And this is what we look like to them. We need to provide for them a safe and healthy environment and an outlet.
The thing about having a learning disability is when people tell you you can't do this, you'll never be smart enough, you'll never be rich enough to succeed, whether it's in film, radio, or TV, a learning disability is about breaking walls down. When someone tells you no, you gotta tell yourself, yes, I can do this, I can learn this, I can achieve anything that I want in my life, and I'm not gonna let anybody else tell me otherwise.
Recently, I decided to develop my own little weapon against my own mental and social adversities, basically in the form of music composition. Simply put, I'm basically taking music from the British post-punk and gothic rock era and mixing it with hip-hop to kind of create this kind of like underground new type of hip-hop genre. But basically, well, it all started in the spring of 2009 when I decided to write my first tune for this little project called Who I Was. Basically, it was for my first tune, I wanted to write a track that had meaning. It had a little bit of panache, a little bit of hip hop panache in there. Basically, what I did was I just took a sample of Joy Division's "She's Lost Control," put beats underneath it, and I rapped the lyrics on top of it. Basically, it's all about overcoming your social isolation. It's a transitional piece from an introvert to an extrovert.
Gentlemen, just lend me your ears while I spit a bit of knowledge to both you and your peers, to your family members and your confidants too, about a man in his mid-20s that just tries to eschew the blues frequently due to social isolation, just because he's afraid of condemnation. On the other hand, there are plenty of methods to cope with this issue. They could very well be my best weapons. One's called swagger, but I'll label it confidence. A necessity it is to obtain social relevance. If I go at this pace, I will reclaim the throne of being king who I was. I call it being alone. Alone. Strikes me when girls ignore me, I'm in a mental pit. It takes a sec to register because she thinks of me as an average Joe who wears Converse, sneakers, jeans, and Watchman t-shirts, you know. Forget that, I just can't waste all my time with ignoramuses who think I'm eerie. Now that's a sign that I'm not part of the scene, and that's respectable. I'll still be myself no matter what, and that's commendable. You see, I won't put on an act just to please anyone, because when they see a facade, I'll know the damage is done. I'll be back against the wall while the rest of the throngs drink, smoke, and party, and all sing all the same sad songs. All my outcasts who know they're in the same state must get up and brush themselves off before it's too late. Just keep your head up and everything will turn out in your favor, regardless of how much you whine and pout. Yo, take it from me, I was an introvert once with no respect for myself. I truly felt like a dunce, but I surpassed that obstacle, and I'm sure you can too. If you follow this methodology, you'll no longer be blue. True, true.
Yes, you can overcome, and you can be what you want to be. Thank you.